You picked a model the first day you opened Claude, probably the one at the top of the list because when a tool hands you its most powerful option, you take it. And you have used that same model for everything since. The genuinely hard problems, and also tidying up a list of file names. Then somewhere around Wednesday, you get the message telling you that you have reached your limit, and you wait. And most people read that message as a verdict on how much they are using Claude. It usually isn't that. There are 4 models, not the 3 that most explanations still teach. They are built for genuinely different shapes of work, and nothing on screen tells you which one you are spending while you spend it. So here is what the next 13 minutes are for. First, the 2 different walls you can hit, because they look identical from the inside and the fix for one does nothing at all for the other. Then what actually drains your allowance, taken from the vendor's own published list rather than from folklore. Then the 4 tiers, and what each one is really for. Then 5 ordinary tasks run through the whole model, and the 3 places this advice stops working. Start here, because almost every question about limits is really this one question asked badly. When Claude stops and tells you that you have run into something, there are 2 completely different walls it could be, and they are not related. Wall 1 is the usage limit. That is how much you are allowed to do in a period of time. Wall 2 is the length limit. That is how much can fit inside one single conversation. Different mechanics, different causes, opposite fixes. Take the usage wall first, because it is the one people hit. On the paid consumer plans, there are 2 of these running at the same time, a 5-hour session limit and a weekly limit sitting on top of it. The session one rolls over every 5 hours, so it forgives you quickly. The weekly one resets at a fixed time each week that is assigned to your account, and that time does not move. It is not 7 days from whenever you started, and it does not shift because your billing date shifts. That second one is why the failure has a shape people recognize. You do not run out gradually. You run out on a Wednesday, and then you are locked out of the good model until a reset time you have probably never looked up. Now the length wall, which is a completely different thing wearing the same error message. The length limit is about the context window, the amount of information Claude can work with inside one chat, and there is a detail inside that one worth having. Part of the window is always held back for Claude's answer, so the longest conversation you can actually have is a little smaller than the window number you were told. Here is why the distinction earns its place at the front of this video. If you hit the length wall, the fix is to start a fresh conversation, and it works immediately. If you hit the usage wall, starting a fresh conversation does nothing whatsoever because the budget is counted against your account and not against that chat. So the first practical thing to take away is a diagnosis, not a setting. Ask which wall you hit. People burn whole afternoons opening new chats against a limit that new chats cannot touch. So what spends the usage budget? This is published, so we do not have to guess. 7 things affect how fast you get there. Message length, file attachment size, the length of the conversation you are currently in, tool use like research or web search, model choice, effort level, and artifact creation. Notice what that list does to the premise of this video. Model choice is on it. Model choice is also one of 7, and the other 6 do not switch off because you picked a lighter model. Anyone telling you that model selection alone fixes your limits is selling you 1/7 of the answer. And the one that surprises people most is the third one. The length of the conversation you are in right now is a cost you pay on every turn, because the whole conversation goes along for the ride each time you send a message. So the 40th message in a long thread is not the same price as the first one on exactly the same model. And there is something underneath all of this that almost nobody mentions. None of these limits are counted in words. They are counted in tokens, and a token is not a fixed slice of text across the whole lineup. The newer models use a tokenizer introduced with Opus 4.7, and the documentation says that compared with the models before it, the same text produces roughly 30% more tokens, which means an instinct you built about how much fits in one conversation can quietly stop being right on the same text because the measuring stick changed underneath you. There is one piece of good news buried in the same document, and it is the only free lunch here. Content in projects is cached, and it does not count against your limits when it is reused. So a reference document you put in a project once and lean on for a month is not billed to you every time it is read, and you do not have to infer any of this from how it feels. There are progress bars and settings, under usage, showing exactly how much of the 5-hour window and the weekly window you have spent. Almost nobody opens that page. Now the ladder itself. 4 current models, and the reason most explanations are out of date is that they still teach 3. At the top, Fable 5, The vendor describes it as its most capable, widely released model, built for long-running agents, and it is also the one described as slower in its own comparison table. That pairing is the whole point of a ladder. The top rung costs you something. Below it, Opus 5, described for complex agentic coding and enterprise work, and it is the model the documentation tells you to start with if you are not sure. Moderate speed rather than the slowest. Then Sonnet 5, which the vendor calls the best combination of speed and intelligence, rated fast rather than moderate. For most people doing most things, this is the honest default, and it is the rung the majority of the audience for this video should probably be living on. And at the bottom, Haiku 4.5, described as the fastest model with near-frontier intelligence. Bottom rung is not a euphemism for bad, it is the one built to be quick. Now a number, with a warning attached to it. Published input rates per million tokens run 10, 5, 3, and 1 down the ladder. Use those as a picture of relative weight, a rough sense of how heavy each rung is compared to the others. Do not use them as your limit maths. Those are developer rates for people paying per token through the interface for software. If you are on a monthly plan, you are not billed that way at all, and treating that table as your usage meter will give you a confident wrong answer about your own account. Two things about this ladder that will actually catch you, and neither is about price. First, the context windows are not the same down the ladder. The top three all carry a 1 million token window. Haiku 4.5 carries 200,000. So the quickest model on the board is also the one with the smallest room to work in, and that only bites you on exactly the tasks you would hand a quick model: long documents. Second, they do not all know the same things. The reliable knowledge cutoff on the bottom rung sits roughly 15 months behind the one on Opus 5. Same product, same menu, and one of them is over a year further behind on the world than the other. So here is the whole thing applied. 5 ordinary tasks, and the rule underneath them is one line. Match the model to the shape of the work, not to how important the work feels. 1. You have a list of 30 file names and you want them consistent. There is no judgment in this task, there is no long document, and there is nothing to reason about. This is the bottom rung, and it is not a compromise. You are asking for speed on a mechanical job, which is the thing that rung was built for. 2. Draft something you are actually going to send to a person. There is judgment in it, tone, what to leave out, but there is no research and no long context. That is the middle of the ladder, and this is the case most people are overbuying by 2 rungs several times a day. 3. And this is where the first gotcha bites. You have a long report, and you want to ask questions across the whole of it. Every instinct built in the last 2 minutes says, use the quick rung. It is a simple question. But this is the one case where the bottom rung has a hard structural limit, because the document has to fit in the window before any of the reasoning happens. Move up. 4. Something runs for an hour without you watching. A long agent job, a big refactor, anything where a mistake at minute 5 is still compounding at minute 50. Top of the ladder. And the reason is not that the task is prestigious, it is that nobody is there to catch the error, so reliability is worth more than speed. 5. And this one deliberately does not resolve to a rung. Anything that depends on recent events. Here the ladder is the wrong axis entirely. What matters is the cutoff date, not the tier, and the bottom rung being 15 months further back matters more than any capability difference between them. 5 tasks, 4 rungs, and one of them refusing to be a rung question at all. That is what makes this a model you can use on a task you have never seen, instead of a list you have to memorize. 3 places this advice stops working. These matter more than the ladder does. First, and this is the big one, model choice is one of 7 factors, and it is not obviously the biggest of them. If you are hitting your limit inside a single 40-message conversation stuffed with attachments, dropping a rung will not save you. The conversation length and the attachments are the cost, and they are on the same published list. Fixing the model is the fix for the wrong problem there. Second, the numbers on the consumer plans and the numbers in the developer documentation do not line up cleanly, and I am not going to pretend they do. The consumer help page describes the newest models supporting up to a 1 million token window, with others at 500,000 or 200,000, and that middle number does not appear anywhere in the developer table this video's ladder came from. So treat the exact window on your own plan as unverified until you check it in your own account. The ladder's ordering holds either way, which is why this video is built on ordering rather than on a spec sheet. Third, the shelf life. There were 3 tiers before there were 4, and the names on this ladder will move again. What survives is the shape, a quick rung, a default rung, and a top rung you save for unattended work. And the two questions underneath it: which wall did I hit, and what shape is this task? Those outlive any lineup. Fast recap: 2 walls, not 1. The usage limit, which is your budget across a 5-hour session and a fixed weekly reset. And the length limit, which is 1 conversation's context window. New chat fixes the second and does nothing for the first. 7 things spend the budget, and model choice is one of them. The length of the conversation you are sitting in is on that list too, and it is the one people never count. 4 rungs, not 3. The quick one has the smallest window and the oldest knowledge, which is the trap. And the rule that survives the lineup changing: match the model to the shape of the task, not to how much the task matters to you. If you want it on one page, there is a picker in the description. Task on the left, rung on the right, with the window and the cutoff noted beside each one. It is free, it carries the same date as this video, and when the lineup moves, it gets updated or pulled rather than left up to rot. One last thing, because it generalizes past this tool. Every tool with tiers is quietly asking you to make a routing decision, and most people answer it once, on day 1, and never again. The people who get good at these things are not the ones who memorized which model wins. They are the ones who noticed a question was being asked at all. Stay in the loop.